Hi friends, welcome to episode 121. The weather has changed very slightly. It's no longer pouring down with rain. It has rained every day this year, and today is the 14th of February. And apparently it's not going to rain today. Hurrah. But it is cold. It's just above freezing. At the moment, it's between 0 and 1 degree up here. That might limit me a little bit. But apparently, once all this cloud has gone, it's going to be a sunny day. So that's really good. So anyway, this is the beginning of the school half-term holiday as well. So I might get a chance to do a few more things up here. Because it's a bit colder, I'm probably going to do some stuff inside the bus, because I can warm up the inside and sit in there quite merrily. So it'll be small things inside the bus, but we'll see how we get on with the remainder of this week. But obviously, what is the first priority? Stick the kettle on. So I'm going to go and stick the kettle on, and let's see how we get on in this episode. For the very first day this year, on Saturday the 14th, it didn't rain. So it wasn't too bad. It was a little bit on the nippy side, but it wasn't too bad. Unfortunately, Sunday, the rain came back with a vengeance. But anyway, and it wasn't the best weekend for me up at the barn. Various different issues. I thought I'd have a go at doing some Rexine panels, and that went horribly wrong. But anyway, let's kick off with our first project. So with it being a little bit nippy on Saturday, as you know, I've turned the lower deck into a sort of temporary workshop, so I can be getting on with a few things in there. Externally, as you can see, there's not really much more I can do. The final thing I did was that area around the platform a couple of weekends ago, so that is sort of finished now. So what I now need to do is to sort out all the junk on the upper deck of the bus. When I took the lower deck interior out, most of the stuff that was downstairs got moved up here, including the old seat cushion and things. So what you're looking at is a situation that has prevailed for probably around 30 odd years. Yeah, stuff has moved about, I must admit that. I've been going through stuff up there to try and find bits for downstairs. There are a few bits missing. There's a box somewhere, which is a bit of a concern. But anyway, this is the upper deck. And what I wanted to do was to get all of this stuff out, including the seats, because the seats are going to go to Paul Toomer for refurbishing soon. So I wanted to get all them out, and I wanted to give the area a little bit of a tidy up. That's an old box of photographs I've got. Probably getting on for about 800 in that little box. On the left-hand side, just by the window, is my Gibson ticket machine. And there's also some other bits, sort of Rexine panels there. I'll come to that later on. I was just not happy with the work I did on the Rexine panels that day. Years back, I did this. All these panels in it, if you have a look, you can see just below the red line. I redid all of those, including the brown Rexine, which you can see just down the side of the seats. Although it's not, in the 30 odd years, maybe more actually, maybe plus, has certainly not fared very well. I think the bottom of that box is about to fall out. They're books. For some reason I've got quite a collection of old junk up there. But like I say later on, I definitely have a couple of boxes missing with bits in them, so I'm going to need to find them. I think they're up against the side of the barn wall, but I do need to find them because obviously key bits are going to be missing. So anyway, that's tidying up the upper deck. So now I've got all that stuff out from upstairs, I can get to these. These are the Rexine panels that I fitted 30 plus years ago. And you can see also the part of the ceiling there as well. And with the changes in humidity in the barn over the years, this mould has started to develop on the outside. The other thing that I'm not too happy with is that little red line. That little red line I painted with a very small brush years back. I wouldn't do it anything like that now. I just simply mask it up and then use my little art sprayer to take that in. I'm probably going to do that with the lower deck actually, and I'll do that before I put them into the bus. Now downstairs I was thinking, you'll notice that there's two little bits of beading just below the red strip and that connect the two Rexine panels either side. So I was wondering about them. They were, I think, originally chrome, but I thought, a bit like that one at the bottom by the window there, I thought maybe of doing the downstairs ones back in chrome, because I can polish them up and put them back, but they were originally all the ones that came off the bus had been painted. So all I did when I did the upper deck was just to replicate what was there before. So I'm wondering about downstairs now. So I'll put that into the sort of maybe I will, maybe I won't category. But anyway, took a warm bucket of water up there and went round the bus with about 4 buckets of water. And this is the end result. So I think that's come up really quite well. I thought that had gone into the Rexine, but it didn't. It's come up really quite nice. It was only a bit of mild detergent, and off it came. 4 or 5 buckets of water later. I've still got to do the ceiling. The ceiling is grubby, but I've done it up to sort of just above where I took this picture. But the green has not fared as well. It's gone a bit baggy. It's not... doesn't look good in places, so I probably will have to deal with that in the future. But for the meantime, all of the stuff that was in the front area of the bus has now been moved to the back. Right, let me show you some of the work I did in the late 90s. This is it. This is upstairs on the RT. Now that we've cleared a lot of stuff out the way, this is the work I did. Now, I know it looks a bit bulgy there, but that's not. That's just, I think, the trick of the light on that. Let's just check. Yeah, it's just trick of the light. So, this is how far I got with the upper deck of the bus. Now, the problem is this Rexine here. Yesterday, I washed all of this yellow stuff off, and that's come up really nice. This is stuff I did back in the late 90s. Oh, it's really quite nice. I'm quite happy with that. However, the green has not fared very well at all. Look how bad that one is. I think we might make that our #1 target to be done. I've also got this one that's missing here. That'll be around somewhere. And we just go around here. I got as far as here, look. And see this. This is really, look. I don't know if you can see that. It's like a huge boil. So that's going to have to be dealt with. Problem is, it goes right underneath my corner. Actually, that's not very good there, is it? Look. Well, I rubbed that down before. I missed that. Deary me. Look at that. I definitely missed all of that. Wow, that's bad. I'm surprised I did that, to be honest with you. There we are. This here, you see that? This is due to come out with the back window. I'm going to take all of that out anyway, that piping. And I've got a little bracket which goes here. And then there's a little piece that comes across there. I've got that. It's downstairs. So yeah, and then you've got it like this, for instance. See, this is all developed over the last sort of 30 odd years. It's a bit of a bum, unfortunately. I'm going to have to deal with that. So yeah, so there we are. So we've got a few problems around here. We've got some other bits which are bulging away. We've got a bit of Rexine panels go back over this bit here. So anyway, that is kind of what it looks like. Now, this bit here, just there, when the camera pulls round, you can see just there is the Rexine panel which goes there. And these two are the Rexine panels that go there and there. But again, like this one over here, I wasn't happy with it. So I've decided just not to put it back for the time being. And I might well tackle that. This is all the bits that were originally scattered around inside the bus. I've noticed I've got a few things missing. See that pole just there? That pole, unfortunately, is just the one of them. I can't find the other. So I've clearly got a box of stuff missing up here. So yeah, there's all the other bits and pieces. There's bits of the floor. Very unlike me to throw anything away, because normally when I've finished using it, it's come off and it's put to one side, it's been replaced. I normally just leave it for another day. There's a couple of panels there. Look, this one here. That one's from downstairs. That one there. You can see how the two Rexines, you've got the green Rexine and the cream Rexine, how they're joined in the middle. So I've got that one to do. There's some bits of wood flooring down there. There you go. Some little ones. Oh, hang on. That's more Rexine panels. The other ones from downstairs. But there are some bits of wood flooring down there. Said me. Just in that box, there's some wood flooring, I think. So anyway, right. So this is upstairs on the RT. I'm going to leave those bits down the front there. Let's just make my way down. These are bits that I've done. Well, say bits that I've done. I've done all of these. I've cleaned all these up. This is going to be a big problem. That one with the Christmas tree stuff around it. Somebody, it was when I come up here to do clearing up about, 3 years ago, somebody had put a Christmas decoration on the bus. I think they were trying to take the wee out of me, I think, but for my absence. But anyway, that bit there, that's the bit that goes down the front there. Complete with the cuddly toy lion thing that somebody also left on the front of the bus. that was on the bonnet. Anyway, and alongside you got 5 of the little roof bits here that for downstairs. I cleaned all them off ages back. And as I said before, this bit is going to be a major problem. Now, Paul Toomer is going to do all my seat cushions for me. And I've asked Paul if he can have a look at that. Because it's beyond my abilities, to be honest with you. I cannot do that. I can do all the rest of them. I did all of them, as you know. But I just can't do that. It's impossible for me. It was done when I think they did them at Aldenham with a special form which heated up and then kind of shrink wrapped the Rexine around the panel. If you notice, that panel is actually green. And clearly what's happened at some point, they've taken the Rexine off and just painted it with a kind of matte green. I mean, those things were done in them days. Last time this one went into Aldenham was 1972. So that probably happened in 1972. It was just a, take the old Rexine off and do that. So yeah, that's going to be a job for Paul Toomer, I hope. He says he's going to have a look at it. He can't guarantee he can do it. So we may end up having to copy what London Transport did and paint it in sympathetically. So, right, well, that's the upstairs on the RT. Right, welcome to inside the RT. And I thought, well, we'll turn this into a workshop and why not use it? It is cold outside and it's chucking down with rain. It's horrible. And I've struggled a bit today, this weekend. In fact, the whole weekend I've struggled to get into this. Yesterday, I tidied up upstairs, which I needed to do. So I don't know if I've done the dialogue already. I apologise for going back over old ground. I don't know. This is today's Sunday and tomorrow I'm going to be editing this. Years ago, I bought rolls of Rexine from a firm in Leytonstone. And of course, they've gone now. And I spent most of this morning in this barn looking for that Rexine because I just can't find it. I had a roll of brown, a roll of green and a roll of cream. Luckily, I bought another roll of green and another roll of cream off of a fellow restorationist about a year and a half ago. So I've got plenty of green and I've got plenty of cream, except the green Rexine that I bought is fractionally different to the green that I was using before. It's the same colour, but it's very slightly different in pattern. But I don't think anyone's really going to notice that. I hope you do now. Let the secret out, haven't I? But some of these, here's one in my hand. Look, this is one from just underneath that near side window, just up by the platform area up there. And although you can't see on this, I'll do a better shot. But it's got all lumpy all the way down here. Now, the glue that I used on these, I don't know if you can see that properly. Look, you might be able to. You can see that? Perhaps not. Anyway, so the glue that I used on here is the glue that was recommended by the firm that I bought all the Rexine from. And I said to them, I'm putting it on metal, and the glue they sold me was, it looked like copydex. It was a really nice glue. It went on fine, and as I say, majority of the stuff, the brown panels have gone well, the cream panels have gone well, but the green, for some reason, doesn't like it. So sadly, I'm going to take this apart. You can see at the back there, look. So this is where I've lapped it round. So I'm going to take this back apart again. There you go. And I'm going to see if I can recover this. If I can't, there'll have to be some new Rexine. But the other thing is my brown Rexine. I'm not sure if I've got enough brown Rexine to do all the panels in here. So I've got it, at the moment, it's sunning itself, for want of a better word, on the bonnet of RM1069. And because where it's been stored, it's got all creased and all manky. I might just about have enough to do, and I'm really surprised. This is a certain thing. I mean, bearing in mind I did this 30 odd years ago, so I apologise. A bit like when I started this dialogue, that was 30 years ago, wasn't it? But when I started doing this, I did the interior upstairs, and then I started on downstairs, and for some reason I've found one Rexine panel for downstairs, and I've no idea why I did that one randomly. Sometimes I do stuff randomly, and I think maybe I'll just give this a try and see if it works out, and then get a process and a method, and then but they're no different to the ones upstairs. So I don't know why I did that. So I've got one panel for down here. So that saves me a little bit of Rexine. But if not, I'm going to have to put a help out to a few friends to see if they've got some. And then, of course, if it's not the same as the Rexine that I've been using, then I'm going to have an odd panel. Not like that. So, anyway, I'm going to try put that right. And if it works, okay, we move on from there. If it doesn't, I've got to try and find some Rexine that looks exactly like that. Or I'll cut one of, I don't know, not sure what to do yet. So, right, let's make a start on the Rexine. But before we do that, I think it's important to point out what Rexine is. Now, Rexine was very, very popular around 60 to 70 years ago. What it is a kind of a substitute for leather. Made by a company called Rexine. Unfortunately, they ceased trading in 2005, but there are sort of variations of Rexine or leather cloth or whatever they want to call it. But the RT used it quite extensively. So you've got the brown down the side of the seats. You've also got a form of Rexine on the back of the seat coverings as well. So where you sit with your knees, that's a sort of Rexine. And then the window cappings. So the window cappings at the lower end of the window are green, and above are a creamy colour. The cream colour should be similar to the ceiling, but it isn't. But anyway, I won't worry about too much about that. But anyway, so it was really, really popular around sort of 80 years ago. And apparently, when it was made, the original ones, it had a cellulose nitrate in it, which is the same sort of stuff I think they use as sort of for explosives. And it was very flammable, which resulted in a train fire back in 1951. So I think the modern Rexines now are probably very safe, to be honest with you, because obviously we can't put stuff that's likely to catch fire in vehicles. So it was used for sort of a number of sort of things, really: sofas, chairs, bus seating, all sorts of things. So yeah, but as I say, it's fallen out of favour now for hard surfaces. Big problem, obviously, is that yobs could easily put a knife in it and then rip it off. And on my RT, it's very clear that probably about 10% of it was missing before I bought it, and then it's just simply been painted over. But I'll show you that later on. So that, friends, is a Rexine. Right, just on these Rexine panels, this one is one that sits underneath the bulkhead at the front of the bus. So, this basically here, there's the cab side, and this is the side where you've got the opening window. And as can be seen, it's a little bit yellow. And I've come across this quite a lot. There's a bit of a dent there, actually. It just looks at that. There's a dent there. Look. There you go. So anyway, it won't notice when you put a Rexine on it. But what they've done, and it's very common on there, I've found so many panels like this on here, that instead of Rexining them, they've just painted them. And this, seriously, friends, someone might go, oh no, Dean, you know, you've done that, you've just sort of, I don't know, make us think that whatever. So if you have a look where you'd be hidden, there's a little bit of beading that goes across it, a little decorative beading. It's painted as well. So this has been painted off the bars and stuck back, and it might have been done in preservation. I mean, I've obviously, when London Country had it, they sold it in 1980, and there's a gap between summer 1980 and the end of 1984/5 when I bought this. So maybe somebody did that. But I've been finding loads of panels like that where they've just been painted over. It's obviously a lot easier to paint it over than actually replace the Rexine, because it's such a pain in the backside. I've also, which is just probably not very clear on there, but I've got a split here. Look, there's a bit of a split there. I don't know if that will see that there. Look, just runs along there. So I'm going to have to fix that as well. I'll probably put something on the back there just to pull it back down again. In fact, it's not badly out of alignment, actually. It's going to be okay. Just try and do that there. It's not, there I go. Right. It's not badly out of alignment. In fact, you probably get away with just Rexining over it. You can see the crack there now, look. So, yeah. This is going to take a while, actually. Not looking forward to it. But we're going to get started anyway. So, Rexine, wonderful. You can tell I wasn't excited at the idea of doing these, can't you? In fact, it was going to go steadily downhill. So before it goes completely peak tong, this was that panel that came off from the near side of the bus, just underneath the window. I had to repair some wood that was under there, so I had to pull the window out. And I thought at the same time, I might as well take the Rexine panels down. So this is that one. So I'm going to try and strip it apart. My first sort of idea is to see if I can save the Rexine that's on it. If I can't, spoiler alert, I'm going to have to strip it all off completely. But anyway, here goes my first attempt. Let's give this a go. Haven't done this for years and years. But anyway, right. Coming off relatively easy. My plan is to save as much of this as possible and then re-adhere it back. See, some of that glue is a bit lumpy. Don't know how we're going to get on with this. Yeah, some of that glue is a bit heavy. So that's that like white copydex stuff. So see how we get on. Go around this corner. Oh blimey, that is, I'll tell you what, that's really well adhered. Yeah, look. So let's see what's causing. Do you know what that looks like? I don't know. Let me show it to you on camera, if you can see that. That looks like corrosion in the metal. That's corrosion in the metal. The metal's alright, but it's just corrosion. Might be because the fact that I used a water-based glue. But as I say, it was the glue that was recommended by the firm that flogged this to me. If this doesn't work, I'm going to have to use the other stuff. See, look, looks like mould, doesn't it? But it's not mould. It's, see, it's all lumpy there. So we're going to try. I might actually, I think what I might do, it's coming off quite nicely actually. What I might do, because we don't need to go all the way around the corner, blimey. There's we need to go right the way around there, do we? No. I think what I'll do is I'll run a disc over that, and I'll see if I can get that a little bit smoother, and then we'll try, fingers and toes crossed, and then re-glue it with all this stuff. Right, so I have to cut there and go and find something to give that a clean. So see you in a minute. Right, well, spoiler alert, it didn't go as planned. So I've ended up having to now cut a new piece of Rexine. So I haven't done this for years, but this part is probably quite simple. So let's kick off with this. Right, I've removed all that glue from here. I had to use the orbital sander to get it off. That's a nice little number, look. RT603. Okay, so that's the part number, by the way, not the bus it came off. So this, yeah, this has come up all right. There's a little dent there, but I don't think you'll notice that. This is the Rexine that I bought more recently. It's very similar. It's very same colour. There's no colour difference, but there's a very slight difference in the pattern. So hopefully you won't notice that because that'll be behind a seat. So let's cut a bit off of this. That's conveniently okay. I think we just go up a little bit further. I'm going to cut this with the scissors. Looks all right. Looks like I can cut it with the scissors. If not, we'll cut it with a Stanley knife. That looks about right, I think. Make a mark with the old pen. All the way along there. Years back, as I said before, it was that firm in Leytonstone, and when I lived in West London, well, I still live in West London, there was a firm near Alfreton Bus Garage that were doing it. I think someone might have mentioned that they did it for Chiswick Works, but I don't know if that's true, if it was just some sort of silly old wives' tale. But there we are. So that's the other side. And this is that. Right. It was at this point all about to go wrong. I bought the glue that my friend recommended, and it's not the glue I used before, and I was about to find out that this stuff is really tough. Well, that's touch dry. I must admit, I'm not really that keen on this method, to be quite honest with you. What I've done is I've used a brush, and I brushed it on, and then I smoothed it off with the that little piece of plastic. So I'm going to swap this round. Unfortunately, while I was doing this, I got a little bit on here and here and here. So I need to be a little bit careful, because if I put that on there, that's going to cause me a problem. So I don't know what to do first. We do the Rexine across the top of the metal, or the metal across the top of the Rexine? Think I might do the Rexine across the top of the metal. Let's give that a try. I've gone quite a distance over each end as well. So there's a little crease in there. That's a bum, isn't it? Right, so let's put it under tension. So we got it under tension. And down we go. That's gone round. Nope. Nope. Ah, damn. Right, okay. Now that's not, it's not gone as I wanted. Damn! You have to do it all again. Oh, pox. I suppose I'll keep this in, actually, so at least you know it don't always go right. What I've done is I put the metal a little bit too high, or the Rexine a little bit too low, but now it's gone completely, look. But actually, I'll tell you what, I wonder, will it be good to me and let it go again? Let's try it again. Put it under pressure. Right, it's under pressure. Under a bit of tension. No. No, that's no good. That is no good. So I'm going to have to start again. Number 3. Right, I did say it was going to go wrong, didn't I? And yeah, I learnt from it though. So what I did was I did half of this with that glue, and I thought I'd try it this way. Right, I've given this about 20 minutes to go off, and I'm going to try and see if this plan works, which you saw before. Glued that. I did this earlier on, and let's see if it works. If it doesn't work, then we're back to square one again, aren't we, friends? I must admit, that copydex stuff was so blooming good. No, I got some lumps there. Oh, I don't like that. No, I've got a few lumpy bits. You get rid of the lumpy bits. In general, it's gone all right, but there's a couple of little lumpy bits there. Will you see them? Maybe not. Right, let's try this now. As tight as I can. Ooh. Now I got some lumpy bits there. Oh no! But I tell you what, in principle, the centre bit went quite well, but it was those two edges where the joins are, that process didn't work too well. So let's try and get this down into here. I've got a few lumpy bits on the edge, but that's not noticeable, because I don't think it is. Right. Let's get this round here. That's gone on all right. Okay, don't get there. That's gone on all right, actually, round there. So I'm going to leave that now, because I've pretty much had enough of this, and I'm sure you have too, watching that. But was that stuck on there? Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll come back midweek using these pegs. That one is stuck. Oh, it was not now. Right. So what I'll do is I'll use these pegs and I'll pull it around here, and then stick a peg on each join, so it'll go like that. That's basically what I'll do. So right. That wasn't a 100% success. I was just saying, I'm not sure about this stuff. I'm really quite worried about that. I think the white copydex stuff, as I said, I've said this before, but the white copydex, I can reposition it. You can get all the air bubbles out, and those little bubbles that I've got there that is the glue is a problem. Also, I'm wondering, and while I've been doing work out there, if I get a spray adhesive, because I can spray it on, and I'm pretty good at spraying things, and then give that a try rather than this stuff. So if they've got a spray adhesive version of that, that might work. So anyway, right, well, I've had enough now. It's coming up to 5 o'clock, and I think there's no point in me getting started in anything else. So I'll call it a wrap. And at the end of this one, I'll do this the first time I've done this from the barn. So thank you very much for watching. YouTube, as usual, will recommend something possibly a little bit more rewarding than this rubbish. So thanks very much for watching, everyone. I look forward to the next one, honestly. See you next time. Cheers. Bye.